Yo, what's good, y'all? It's Hayes and Maze here, and welcome to my home studio.
Hey, Hayes and Maze! Through this video, I'll be showing y'all my mic setup, my drum set, my cameras, the XLRs that I use, the DAW that I use, everything on how I make my content. So let's get into this video. Yeah. Start with the cowbell. This is an LP salsa cowbell that I like to use. And then I have a 14 by 3.14 DW Maple Pi snare drum. This is one of my favorite snares, actually. Piccolo snares definitely give a different effect, which is why I have it all the way over here, because I don't use it a lot. And then up top of that, we have a 16-inch Sabian Evolution China. And then next to the China, we have a 10-inch DW Collector's maple snare. This is a 10 by 6, I believe. And then over top of that, we have a Roland BT1 trigger. And then as y'all can see right here, we have two different triggers on the 10-inch snare. This here is a Roland Dual RT30 trigger, head and rim, so you can get two different sounds out of it. And then this little sleek trigger over top is from a company called X Percussion. Look them up, all right? This is called the Arc. Right beside that, we have a 16-inch Evolution HHX by Sabian, a brilliant Finnish crash cymbal that I like. It gives me a different tone because it's a smaller cymbal. So when I want to do some accents or coming off a drum roll sometimes, I'll use the smaller sound of this cymbal. And then right under that, we have a 14 by 6.5 DW Cherry Mahogany Collector's snare drum. I had to think about it for a second. All right, and then right above that, we have 13-inch, Sabian 13-inch Anthology hi-hats. And I have this hooked up, as you can see, to the remote cable. This is a DW 9000 remote cable hi-hat. And, you know, that's how it works. And then we have Sabian 15-inch Artisan hi-hats. These are some of my favorite hi-hats because they have a big, lush sound, but yet they're crispy when you want to do like your rolls on the hi-hats. They're very articulate. And then right over top of these hi-hats, we have two splashes. We have a 7-inch Sabian HHX Evolution Splash, and then we have a 10-inch Sabian HHX Evolution Splash. Two of my favorite splashes in the world. Right beside these splashes, we have the HHX 19-inch Fierce Crash cymbal, which is my favorite, my all-time favorite crash cymbal, like forever in the world, okay? Under the crash cymbal, we have our 8 and our 10-inch toms here. All of my drums are cherry mahogany drums. This is a 8 by 7-inch tom, and then a 10 by 8-inch tom. I love full-size drums, okay? And then under that, we have the 14 by 5.5 cherry mahogany DW Collector snare. My 12-inch tom is a 12 by 9 cherry mahogany DW Collector's tom. And right over that, we have, which has become one of my favorite ride cymbals, the HHX 21-inch Fierce Ride. One of my favorite rides in the world. Woo, crazy. And then over top of that, we have the HHX Extreme Crash, my second favorite crash in the world. Right under that, we have a cowbell Ridge Rider. This is an LP branded cowbell. And right under that, we have a 16 by 14-inch floor tom. Right beside that, we have an 18 by 16-inch floor tom, which I put some tape on to give it a good amount of muffling. And I've actually taken the bottom drum head off to give it like a dead gong drum sound effect. And then over top of this, like top left, I have a stack. I don't want to tell y'all my stack combination, but I will because I love y'all and y'all support me and I appreciate y'all. So here's my stack combination. I have an 18-inch Ozone on top, HHX Evolution Ozone on top, and then a 17-inch Holy China on bottom. It's amazing. And then right here, which is becoming a very amazing effects crash for me, it's the HHX Evolution Effects Crash, 17-inch. And y'all can hear how this sounds. So it almost gives the effect of a China, but you know, it's an actual crash cymbal. For the bass drum, I'm using a 22 by 18-inch cherry mahogany DW Collector's bass drum. My foot pedal is the DW machine chain drive. It is not the direct drive. It is the machine chain drive foot pedal with a Vic Firth egg beater on it. And then if you go over to the left a little bit, we have a foot switch that I like to use when I'm running electronics in order to stop the sounds from triggering when I'm hitting my acoustic drums. I use this foot trigger to do what is called a pad check. And then over to the left, I have the direct drive hi-hat. This is the DW direct drive hi-hat stand. And then again, we have the remote hi-hat stand over here, which is DW 9000. Back to my snares. The heads on my snares, I use a Remo coated Emperor, a Remo Power Stroke 77, and another Remo coated Emperor. The Remo coated Emperor is my favorite snare drum head. It is my favorite snare drum head. I feel like it's the most versatile snare drum head, which is why I have 3 of them, okay? Okay, and then for my toms, I went with the Remo Ebony Emperors. I'll get out the way so y'all can see these beautiful ebonies. But yeah, I went with the Ebony Emperors mainly because I love the way they look with these drums. With the satin chrome hardware on all of the drums, and then you got the piano black finish. I just felt like the Ebony drum heads look the best and they sound great as well. But right now, I'm gonna take y'all to my microphone setup, okay? Our microphone that we're using on the 18-inch floor tom is the Earthworks SR20 LS, which is actually a bass drum microphone, but because this drum is so big, I felt it better to be on there. For the 16-inch floor tom, I have the Earthworks DM20. And I'm using that for my 16-inch tom. I'm using that same mic for my 12, my 10, and my 8. And then if we come down to the snare, I'm using the generic combo, which is also my favorite combo, the Shure SM57 on top and the Shure SM57 on bottom as well. And then on all 3 of my side snares, I'm using the Shure Beta 98 AMP. For my overheads, I am using 2 of the Earthworks SR25 microphones. One there and one there. And I keep the windscreens on these microphones just to get rid of any extra unwanted whoosh that I don't want to hear. All right. So under my ride, I'm using the Shure KSM 137 microphone. In here, mainly for my hi-hats, I have another Shure KSM 137, but how I have it angled is so that it captures both of my hi-hats, but it'll also capture my splashes whenever I hit those. For my bass drum, on the outside, I'm using the Shure Beta 52 and the Beta 91 combo, 91A, as you can see. It's my favorite combo. Normally what I would do with this mic is I'll place it about half or a little closer to the front of the bass drum head because that captures what I like to call the snap, and then the 52 captures the boom of the bass drum. All right, so The amazing story of how I got these orange custom microphone cables. These are XLRs, as y'all know. I have orange and I also have blue. One of my good friends, Joe Willett, he makes these cables. He made one for me. I can't find it now, but he made one for me some years ago. And I was like, bro, I need you to make more. And more recently, I ended up asking him to, you know, make me some orange cables just so I can go with, you know, the orange and black aesthetic, because that is my favorite like color combination. So yeah, I got him to make some joints, and yeah, they're all over the kit actually. All right, so this right here is the Roland TM6 Pro. This is what I use as a module or the brain to all of my electronics. I do have about 4 trigger in outputs coming through here. Here is one of the triggers on the bass drum. As y'all can see, that is, I forget what it's called. I think it's called the KT bass drum. I'll put it down below in the descriptions. And then over here to the left, that's another trigger that I have coming out of there. And then also this one. Also that one. And then out of the back of it in the foot switch space is my Boss FS5U foot switch. So here we have the Behringer X18 Air, which I normally control from my iPad. I'm able to control the gains, able to control EQs and my actual mix, right? So this X18 Air, I have plugged in a bunch of snakes. As y'all can see, I'm using all 16 XLR channels. This 1/4 inch channel is for if I'm recording anything to where I need electronics, I could just take out a channel and plug the 1/4 inch right into, you know, there and record like I would need to, right? So these snakes, I have 2 snakes, right? And as y'all can see, the cords are looped up under here. But if you follow me here, I have the X18. I have these hooked into the X18, should I say. This is snake number 2 that I use for pretty much just the left side of my drum set. I know y'all see the cables around. Trust me, I love to organize my things, but when it comes to cables, I'm not the best at cable management, okay? But I know where everything is. That's the beauty of it. Nothing is like clustered or, you know, makes it difficult to untangle or anything of sorts, right? So that's snake 2, and this over here is snake 1, which is pretty much from my 10-inch tom over to the right of my drum set. So I have 8 channels here, 8 channels on the other snake, which makes 16 channels, and it makes it much better so I don't have to run all of my XLRs straight to my interface and have all of the long cords running through the floor. These snakes create so much more floor space. So I advise you to invest in snakes if you are recording anything. All right, here I have 1 and then I have 2 over there. These are Neewer smart panel LED lights that I use as just kind of a backlight on my wall, as y'all can see. All right, and then here as like a fill light, I have the Neewer CB60B, okay? I use this just to kind of, you know, fill the light from my main light, you know? Yeah. That's this one. And I also have a sheet over it working as a diffuser to soften the light. So it's not just like a hard light shining on me, making all of my video lighting look like distorted, you know? So yeah, if you wanna save some money, just cut up a pillowcase. It gotta be white, which is the one that I use. But just cut up a pillowcase or cut up a sheet or something like that that you have in your house and place it over the light, and it works well as a diffuser. Okay. All right, and then here we have the Godox VL150 with a honeycomb grill over the diffuser. God bless y'all. All right, and I know a lot of y'all might be wondering how I route my interface to my DAW. Well, bow, okay? We have a USB here. Maybe this is like a 25 foot or 50 feet cable or whatever, but you have the MIDI cable or the whatever it's called, the USB cable, right? And as y'all can see, it's running along the floor here, running along the floor here, running along the floor here, running under all of this, right? And it goes into this adapter that I have into my computer. And bow, wait, where is it? It's right here, okay? If y'all can see that right there. And that is how my interface is connected to my computer, and that's how I get all of my channels recorded into what I use, which is Logic. Yeah, so I have my computer stand here. It's a very nifty stand that I have put together. But yeah, as you can see, I have all of my channels here, and I've actually organized my session with the drum folders so that it just kind of makes everything easier for me if I want to mute certain things. Like I can mute them. I'm touching the screen like it's touchscreen, but you know, I can mute, if I wanted to mute all the times, I can mute them all at once just by muting the one channel. And yeah, so that is how, you know, I route everything to my computer, and I record straight from the interface into the computer, and everything is there. I don't do my mixing on this computer, and I'll kind of just show y'all or tell y'all how I get my files to my desk and, you know, do my final mixing and everything like that. All right, moving on to my guy, Mitch from Automute, who supplied me with this wonderful design that we came up with on the spot. He had some stuff for me, and I said, all right, come over to the house. Let's just put something together on the spot. And white and black just kind of seemed to fit the mold with my black drum set. So I do have 3 panels each. Oh, well, we actually built this, whatever this is. We haven't named it yet, right? But this is kind of a, this is a panel, an image panel. Automute does image panels. So if you ever want an image like that on your wall, that joint look crazy, don't it? Yeah, I know. That's because it's me. Nah, I'm just playing. But yeah, if you ever want something like that on your wall, but you want it to help with the sound in your room, hit up Automute and get an image panel done. You know, they do all types of stuff. My cousin, she bought this for me for Christmas or my birthday. It was either one of those, but it is a LED like figurine that says Hazel Maze, and I can change the light if I want to. Bow, 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 bow. You know, you can do a bunch of stuff with it, and I think it's cool. Look at that. I think it's dope. And then we just have some stickers that we put up here. My daughter's got me this for Father's Day, and y'all know I had to put it on the wall, right? I had to put it on the wall. Then you got the Remo banner, but man, oh, and it just fell. But this is my home studio. I only hung that up with pins in it, and it fell, unfortunately. So I just go ahead and put it back up when I'm done with this clip right here. I don't know if y'all saw this mic, but this is a microphone. I don't remember what it's called right now. But I use it when I'm doing any sort of lessons or, you know, lesson videos or online, anything that I'm doing. I'll use that just to talk into the mic, so I don't have to use like a drum mic or anything like that. And I actually don't own this mic that I'm using to record the audio. Thanks to Darian for supplying a brother with a mic for this video. Darian Jarrell Photos, man, always coming through in the clutch with the crispy, 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 crispy videos, you know? And photos, of course. This right here is the camera that I use to record everything. This is the Sony A7 IV. Thanks to Darian for hipping me to this joint. I used to do a lot of research, you know, on cameras back when I first started. And I saw this one, it was the A7 III that I saw, and I wanted it, but it was out of my budget. But now I can afford it, so I got it, now what? And then I have this sitting on a slider. Sometimes I call it a crane for whatever reason, but I have it sitting on the slider, so when I do my drum videos, I can have the video, you know, move side to side when I don't have somebody here recording me. And also, if I bring one side of the slider back or one side of the slider forward, it determines how like far left and right the slider or the camera will go while it's on the slider. Just, you know, something that I use to record my content. This camera here is the Canon M50, the regular M50. They do have a Mark II as well, but these cameras are a lot more affordable. I feel like for those who are just getting started, you can also use your phone. I use my phone for like Instagram videos and things like that, but for like more in detail content that I want to do for YouTube, I use cameras. So I use that Sony a7 IV that I just showed y'all, and I use this Canon M50 as like a close-up shot just to kind of get my face or, you know, something like that. And then if we look up, keep your head to the sky, you will see that I have a GoPro Hero 10 right here that I use to capture an overhead view of my drums in my drum videos. All right, so the sticks that I use when I'm cutting drums, generally I'll use the Matrix by Vater, but these are the Vater SD9, which are a little heavier. So if I'm playing anything like heavy, anything, you know, like rock or whatever like that, I'll use these for a heavier drum sound. But I'll switch to these for anything I'm playing, like gospel, R&B, funk, you know, a lot of times, and things like that. But I also have other sorts of specialty drumsticks like vibe mallets, hot rod sticks. I have a few claves in my bag that I would use if, you know, I'm creating like a loop pack or something like that. I'll just, you know, something like that, I'll do it up into the mic, you know, just to capture it, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, my sticks just fell, so I gotta pick those up. But we're moving on to the next scene. This here is the DW Airlift Drum Throne. So, because I didn't have another actual floor stand to put this bass drum microphone on here, I used the clamp that goes to the XPDX pad, actually. I use this clamp and I just put it onto the top of a mic stand and I, you know, put it together, and there we have our floor tom mic stand, everybody. All right, so for my snares, I am muffling them with a towel right here, right? It keeps it short and high pitched at the same time, right? And then here, the trigger actually provides muffling. As many of y'all may know or may not know, the trigger actually provides some muffling when you put it on. So I'm using that along with a Remo control sound gel, right? For that one. And then here, I'm using the Remo ring. You know, for those of y'all who grew up maybe in church, you used to see drums that had the ring on them to muffle the sound. A lot of times they're clear, but yeah. Right? That stops the tone from ringing out too long. And then here, I'm using a tandem drop. I'm only using one because I like my snare to be resonant, but I don't like it to ring too long. So I feel like the tandem drop was perfect to use for my main snare, because when you hit the drum, it kind of flips up a little bit and then sits right back down onto the snare to stop the overtone. On my floor toms, I have just a tad bit of muffling or reinforcements, whatever you want to call it. I have 2 Remo square gels here. And then on this one, I went back in the day with it. I put some paper towels under some gaff tape and just taped it on there to give me a short, deep tone. Woo, right? All right. Here it is, my desk where my computer is, and as y'all can see, my gaming system is as well. I spend a lot of time in this room video editing, mixing drums. I have these Yamaha HS8 speakers. These are my all-time favorite speakers that I've ever heard in person. So far, like perfect quality every single time I'm mixing through these things. I'm listening to whatever I'm listening to. So, like I said, this is where I do all my editing. As y'all can see, I'm editing this exact video right here. So, how I normally get my drum files to this computer is through my Lacy hard drive. I'll plug my Lacy hard drive into Logic on my other computer, and I'll export all the files onto folders here on my Lacy, and hopefully y'all will be able to see my editing process here on my computer as I turn around and show y'all how I drop things into Logic, how I drop things into iMovie is what I use for now, and how I edit. So let's get into this editing process. Alright, so as y'all can see, I do have a JBL controller here. I will tag that link in the bottom description as well. So normally after I finish recording over at my drum set, I'll bring my hard drive, my Lacy hard drive, here to my computer, open up my Logic session. Alright, so in Logic, I do have templates, right? I have these recent projects that I did, but I also have project templates. Right here. And this is a practice mix, but I'll go into the recent one that I did for this video. And as y'all can see, this is the recording for this video. I don't color code or anything here on this Logic session like I do on my other Logic session. But normally what I do is let's say I'm just opening up my files, go to downloads. I'll go here to my Lacy files. And then I have all of my videos and pictures, as y'all can see. It's gonna take a little bit to load for these big files. As y'all can see, I have like my pictures and everything like that, right? Thumbnails, and I have the audio. You see it says free play audio there. So I have all of the audio files here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag this over just a tad, and I'll drag this window over as well. And then I'll just select everything. All right, so now that I have everything selected here, I'll go to the top channel, which is the 8-inch rack channel, and I'll just drag and drop. It makes it easier for me to do it this way. It's just like I select everything over here and I drop it straight into the session. Now, the only thing that's different about this session is I was playing to a track. As y'all can see, it says replay final right there where the track was. But at this point, I just select that and drag it down just one, and everything lines up the way it's supposed to. So this was a session I was already mixing for this video. So all of my plugins and everything that I use are already on. But yeah, that's just how I drop everything into a session. And then from there, I begin to mix the drums that I want to mix. I'll solo. If I want to hear a drum by itself, I'll solo it. I'll let y'all hear some stuff. Right? And as y'all can see here, I'm hitting at 2.4, which is in the red. But I try not to hit so far in the red that everything sounds extremely distorted and everything like that. I do like to pan my drums drummer perspective. So I have my 8-inch tom. I like to pan it all the way to the left. And then I keep the rack tom kind of in the middle, because when I'm playing, it's, in the middle. And then I have my 12-inch tom to the right a little bit, my floor tom all the way to the right, and my other floor tom all the way to the right as well. I'll pan my left overhead left, my right overhead right, And then I only like to really pan my piccolo snare to the left. But if I'm doing if I'm playing a deep snare or my trap snare, which is the 10-inch snare that y'all saw, I like to keep those in the middle because sometimes I'm using those throughout a big portion of a song. This is... All right, now I'm going to show y'all how to export this, right? So generally, after I've edited everything and cut everything into place, I'll just select them all. I don't think you necessarily have to select them all, but I'll select them all, and then I'll go to File, and I'll go to Bounce, Project or Selection. And I normally choose MP3. I don't have the normalize on. I turn normalize off because I notice when normalize is on, it kind of compresses the sound, and I didn't really like that. So to get the full sound, I have the normalize off, and I'll bounce this out, and I'll put it into my downloads, and I'll just name it whatever for now, right? I'll wait for this. All right, so now that that's bounced out, I'm not going to save it because I already did this before. But now that that is bounced out, we have our file here. Right? All right, so then I'll open up iMovie, and I have the studio rundown here, but I'll create a new file just to show you how I do it from scratch. I open up the movie, and again, you already have the files here. So what you could do is you could just go back to, well, what I normally do is I just go back to my Lacy hard drive, and I'll open up the folders to where I have everything. You see I have studio rundown, a mic comparison video that I'm gonna do, and then some audio, right? And then I just find whichever video. So generally, my bad. Generally, I'm using all of these clips, right? So I'll put all of my clips into iMovie if I'm doing the whole video. If I'm editing the full video, I'll put all of my clips into iMovie and then just watch it through and chop through there. But I'll put them in order, of course. But for this, I just have to find where I'm just kind of free-flowing on drums. So this would just be something to like pass the time or something. Yeah. All right. Alright, I'm gonna record out here. Alright, I think that is the video. Yes, this is the video. So I drag the video into here. I go back to my downloads, and what I'll do is I'll just drag it in there, not really worrying about if it's lining up or not just yet. But at least I know I have both the files in there. So now what I'll do is I'll open up the file. I'll open up my iMovie, and then I'll just make the movie as wide as possible, right? So I know I have everything here, and I'll just go to the beginning of the video. And most of the times I'll do slates to where like I'll click my sticks or I'll clap, so that way y'all see where the long file is, where the long waveform is. It'll match with the top video as well, so I could just kind of drag and drop like that. But because I didn't do that here, I kind of have to figure out where I started. And yeah, let's see. You could have. Yeah, okay. Alright, I'm gonna record. So I know it's not at the front. Uh-oh, so that's the first time, that's the first hit, right? Let's see. All right, so let me give y'all one of my tips, right? The way that I know, what I'll do is once I find where it connects, I'll just chop it a little before and I'll delete it. So the way that I know, my video and my audio are gonna line up pretty much perfect is by looking at the waveforms, right? I can make the waveform bigger, right? Yes. So I can make these waveform bigger for y'all. So where this is hitting, you see it's going up sharp. This is going up sharp as well. So normally I just try to look for those waveforms to kind of match in how high they go up or how low they go down. And then I'll play the video and I make sure that my audio is matching to where it sounds like one audio instead of two different audios. Sometimes if you're visually looking to see if it's matching, your audio could be late or it could be ahead. So that's what I normally do. I normally just try to match the audio to where it sounds like it's just one audio. Right? You don't really hear any slamming going on between the audio files or anything like that. So I'll take this and you can either mute it. I mean, you can either turn the volume down like this, or, you know, if you just had a volume on, you can click it and then you go up to the speaker and you click the speaker in order to mute the video. And now you have... So normally, after that, I'm just chopping my video. I'm adding text to it and everything like that. But this is generally me editing my audio and editing my video to make it all one video. So yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed this studio rundown video. I'm praying that it was as in detail for y'all as I can make it. You know, I tried to give y'all everything from the lighting that I use to the microphones to the drums, the drum heads, the sticks, the DAW that I use, the XLRs, everything. My editing process, I tried to give y'all as in detail of a rundown that I could give y'all. I'm extremely fortunate to have a home studio. Even if you don't have a studio inside your home, I also call home studios if you have it in a garage or if you rent a space. To me, that's still a home studio because you're doing everything to make it feel like home to you. You know what I mean? So everything that I use will be down in the description for y'all to see, and there will be a link to Sweetwater. I am a Sweetwater affiliate, so if y'all purchase something from the Sweetwater link below, I will get commission, and that is a way of y'all showing y'all love and support to me, as well as liking this video, sharing this video, subscribing to my YouTube channel, and commenting down below. Comment what you like about my studio, what you don't like about my studio, what you would do different. I'm always open to suggestions and you know, maybe changing the way that I do things if y'all think it'd be more efficient for me. I love to try different ideas out. Let me know what y'all use in y'all home studio, or if y'all use some of the same gear, I would like to hear about that too. And yo, I forgot to mention, if y'all don't already follow me on Instagram, follow me now at Hayes_Amaze_. Also, I'm on TikTok as well at HayesAmaze_. And here on YouTube, Hayes Amaze. All right, I appreciate y'all again for the love and support. This is gonna be a great journey. I love pushing out content for y'all and making content when I can. So please continue to support me in as many ways possible as you can. I'll be opening up memberships and everything like that soon. I'll be opening my Patreon back up for lessons. If you want drum lessons, I do have virtual drum lessons available down in the description below. But on Instagram, you can join my broadcast channel, or you could become a subscriber to my page to see some inside exclusive looks of me on tour or content that's coming out or anything of that sort. So I love y'all once again. Peace, 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 peace.